Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you are. My name is Benga Adeyemo, and I'm a community lead for the Winnipeg Power Platform User Group. We are the one currently hosting the program that you are in. This section is about role level security in Power BI. And I also have with me here, Diron Oke, is also the community lead for the Winnipeg Power Platform User Group. Today we are having a very wonderful guest. His name is Marcelo Matos. He's an experienced business intelligence analyst who is going to talk to us today about role-level security in Power BI. But before we actually dive into that, I would like to introduce the user group to us, what we do, what we stand for, about our membership, about what we've achieved so far, and for those that are interested in joining the Winnipeg user group, how they can be a member, what are the criteria, and then how you can also maintain membership, and how we encourage people to, learn tools to always keep up to date, especially your Microsoft technologies and in Power Platform. Okay, so now I'm going to be sharing my screen um, to introduce the user group. Just give me minutes and also to introduce the speaker for today. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen, guys?
We were seeing the presenter screen.
Oh, you're seeing the presenter screen.
Yeah.
Oh, let me stop sharing then. Just hold on for me. Okay, so let me bring this up here. And then share my screen now. What about now?
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So about the Winnipeg Power Platform user group, it's a dynamic group. That is, we have people from different parts of the world in the group. We have Africans, we have Brazilians, we have Canadians, we have a lot of people from different parts of the world. So just to tell you that the user group, although it's a Winnipeg user group, does not mean that all our members are in Winnipeg. So we have members from London, we have members from Dubai, we have members from Nigeria, and a whole lot of other places like that that our members are from. So we are a dynamic community and we are dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations to enhance their platform skills, right? So we bring together people from different parts of the world, different industries, different domain knowledge, so that we can collaborate together, share ideas, and we can so that we can be aware of the best practices, of approaching different solutions, right? So for the Winnipeg user group, it doesn't matter whether you are a beginner, whether you are an intermediate person or you're an advanced user. We all come together to grow together, and we also share job opportunities within the Power Platform. Okay. Um, so what is our goal as a user group? We are a Microsoft user group. Our goal number one is to share knowledge, right, and to build people's skill. For example, we started a PL 300 slash Power BI learning section since October, and we usually do that at twice a week, Wednesdays 8 p.m. CDT and Sunday 8 p.m. CDT. And we've been doing this Power BI class now since October last year, since we started. And the Power BI class will be ending by the end of this April, right? So we come together, we bring up different topics in Power BI. Somebody teaches it, right? We have the likes of Jerome, okay, we have the likes of Adedamola Adebowale, we have the likes of Isoken and a whole lot of other people like that, and including myself, that we've been together in that Power BI class for some time now, and we've been doing a lot of stuff with Power BI, right? And also, we were able to get vouchers from Microsoft for us to give to our members for them to be able to write their PL300 exam. Interesting, right? So we come together, share ideas, do practical stuff within Power Platform, right? We've had speakers that came to present topics on Power Automate. We've had speakers that came to present topic on Microsoft Fabric, Power Apps, and a whole lot of them like that. We are here so that we can promote innovation within the Power Platform, right? We want to showcase a lot of innovative ways of doing things within the Power Platform ecosystem, right? Winnipeg User Group is, we started it out of the curiosity to bring it will bring a collaborative community. Let me tell you a little bit of story of why we started this community. Last year February, that was last year February, I wanted to attend the global power platform bootcamp, and I was looking around. I could not see anywhere within my city here to attend the bootcamp, and I had to travel as far as I had to travel 2 hours flight to Calgary just for me to go and present Power BI there. And I came back, I was a little angry that in the city of Winnipeg, there's no user group for Power Platform at all. And thank God for a good somebody like Mr. Okay, who came around and said, you know what, let's start something. And that was how we started the user group. And since then, it has been a wonderful experience, I must confess. Some people wants to write the Microsoft exams, PL 300, DP 900, DP 600, and they need somebody to, just carry them along. They need somebody who could take them by the shoulder and support them, right? So, as a user group, we are also here to support anybody who wants to write any Microsoft certification, because there are people in the user group that have recently passed the certification exams, and they are also here to support any other person who is ready and who is willing to take on their Microsoft certifications, right? Because we do this through mentorship, through daily, through weekly workshops, and this kind of sections that you are in now is part of the ways that we impact people in the Microsoft, journey for certifications. Also, if there's anyone who is also interested in becoming a Microsoft certified trainer, we also encourage that, right? Because it opens a whole lot of world of possibilities and opportunities for people who are interested in becoming a Microsoft certified trainer. So we are also here to guide people on how to go about that as a community. Today, I'll be presenting our speaker. His name is Marcelo Matos, and he's a Microsoft Certified Power BI Data Analyst. He has 10 years experience in business intelligence. That is not a joke, right? His core areas are data analysis, business intelligence, data storytelling, and visualization, right? He has worked with some companies like the Banco de Brazil, Oat Reading, Payworks, right? I know Payworks is in Winnipeg, and Rocket Rest. So, guys, with all pleasure, I present to you Marcelo Matos. Is going to be talking to us today about role level security. Marcelo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you can say hi, you
Uh,
can share your
I
video, let people see you. Oh, nice.
yeah.
You can go ahead with your presentation now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good night for everyone. It's very nice to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to talk about this topic. It's I'm not this is not my comfortable place to talk. Like I'm more uh do guy like most of the IT personality. We're more on the back on the behind the keyboard. So I will try to do my best here to put this. Yeah. So just to uh, continue what you said, I'm originally from Brazil. I started my career in Brazil working for a bank. And then I had the opportunity to work on the very beginning of the business intelligence, data analysis for the bank. Then I moved to Canada and have opportunity to work in a few companies here. Uh, the last two companies using Power BI. And the good thing is one, I use for internal purposes, and the last one I'm working using Power BI as an external tool right? So it's a very interesting experience that I have now. I will share my screen here. Let's see here. Let's see what I want first. We want this. Can you see my screen?
Very clear.
Okay. Okay. So um for just we're not gonna stay on the on a PowerPoint, I promise. I just gonna give some uh base for we can go diving in Power BI before we go, because I don't know the level of the knowledge of the group, so I'm just trying to make sure that everyone had the a basic understanding on the row level security before we implement it in Power BI. So row level security, it's a data access control. And what makes row level security a little bit different from what usually when you talk about database access is in database access, usually you is a yes or no access. You have access or you don't have access to usually a table or a database. Row level security, you grant access, but you just display, you just show the data according to the roles you put for each user. Uh, and why we use row level security? Uh, Most of the cases, in most of situations we're gonna find in our workplaces, the database, the data structure, data architecture was created in a way that you just have one big uh, table or one database with the consolidated data for all clients and regions. So basically is a way that you can split the data and distribute your data in a secure way to only the users you want, and they can see only what is appropriate for them. So what are there are two main use cases when we uh, apply row level security. One is when you work in an organization that uses Power BI for usually what we call business intelligence, which is bringing insights for the company, usually for the management, to take strategic decisions on top of the data. So and it will be the case where we're going to see here, for example, where we have a sales dashboard that different people will have access to different data of that sales, because you don't want to display all data to everyone. And another use case for row level security is when you use Power BI to distribute data to your clients, right? So you have your own platform, and then you can you consolidate the data for all your clients in a data warehouse, and then you create usually a homepage, a web page where your client will log in, and according to the who is logging in, the client that's logging in, they can only see their own data, right? So you have one application running, one data warehouse, but your clients will, when they access this portal, according to the identity, they can only see their own data. Okay. When talking about row level security, we have two basic definitions where we have. One is called static, and another is dynamic row level security. The static, you have predefined criterias, like you just create some buckets and you put the users inside these buckets. The other one, you still can have buckets, but what will define, you create, you can have a table behind it on your database that according to the uh, email or username of the who is viewing the dashboard, you define what the user can see. So um, it will, as we can see, I will show both applications here, how we can use both. It will depend a lot on the how your the structure of your data you have. Which brings us for this last slide here, talking is two things about row-level security that we always have to have in mind. It is not one size fits all solution. So, which it means is it will rely a lot on how your data on your company is properly set, the model, because sometimes you would like to use dynamic, but the data doesn't allow you to do it. So you have to go for static, for example. Or sometimes you probably cannot do row level security the way it is. You need to change the structure of the data to be able to apply. So yeah, and that's some important notes that I'm going to show you during this session. One example, and what I hope is that you got the concept of the row level security to where you can apply to your on your day to day. But it's not that you can just copy and paste. It will not so simple solution in this way. Any questions up to this point before we start going to Power BI?
Anyone? You have any questions?
Oh,
If
that's
there's
good.
none, you can just go ahead.
Oh,
Oh, somebody's raising up your hand. Let me talk with viewer.
All right. Thank you very much, Marcelo. Um, thanks a lot for this. You really broke it down very well. But I really want to ask this question. You are talking about the data structure of an organization. We are tailoring the kind of RLS to it. How would you describe, okay, for dynamic RLS, what data structure would we use? Would we apply that to? For static, what data structure would we apply that to, so that in case we encounter different kind of data sets or data in a particular organization, we know the particular one to use?
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for your question. Yeah. So the main difference we're gonna see is uh, to use dynamic row level security, we need to have some sort of to at least have uh, a way to filter the data using the username or the email of the user of the Power BI. So there are situations where people they can sometimes they don't have more than they have license that for is usually sometimes you can have one department using one license, for example. It's a way that you only see one data. You cannot use by individual the user principal. Other ways, your data on your database, you don't have this information in your data model. You don't have any mention about username or user who is the user who can see or not this type of data. I'm gonna show you an example here when we go into where you. I hope it's gonna be more visual for this understanding here. So I will start with what are we gonna see today. It's a very common request that you as a data analyst, you receive a request to create a sales report. The sales report, you have basically, and the sales is divided between East region and West region, for example. You have you're going to create one report. The CEO of the company or the leadership, they can see all the data from all regions, but the managers can only see the data that it's for each region. And you have one assistant, they can't see, they can see any data in this case. So, and you have only one consolidated sales table in your organization. So how do you create one report on top of one data, one table that you're going to distribute the same report, and they're going to see different data, each one of them. And once we do this, we're going to do one thing that is super common as well, which is people change, right? So in this case, we have our CEO, which will retire. Our East manager, Jack, will become, oh, sorry, our manager, John, will become the new CEO, and their assistant manager will become our East manager, right? So we just, and then we're going to show you what is the difference when you have a static row level security in situations like this that happens all the time, and you have a dynamic row level security. Okay, let's start. I will do it quite simple, not a lot of, because I want you to be able to follow up since the beginning. So we're starting with a really blank slate here. The only thing, I created an Excel file with some data. So we're going to start with, we have our sales table, which have just basically the sales ID, the date, the customer ID, who was, and the amount. For that, we have our customer table, which have the same, and then it has the location ID. And I have also then the location, which is East and West. That's let's start with this simple model here. So basically what we have the location ID linked to our customer, and our customer to sales. If you go back here, let's put some data here. Let's just move this away. So as we're talking about the sales report, the most important is going to be always the amount. Let's just make this copy. Sure you have it. Okay. And then let's start by the first one, which is location here. So let's bring the ID to make it easy for us to see. Let's bring another one. Something easy here. So now I want the client customer name. Take this, the customer name. Basically, some here. And what else do we want? Oh, let's have web province as well. So just so you know. Yeah. Okay, also as we are, let's have one. Okay. Let's have this one here. Let's put this so you can at least see. Right. Just putting some information so we can see how it's gonna change when we use you want the date for the sales, it's going to be our X, Y, and I want by region, name, others, okay, see by month. Make it continuous. Let's look this. So, okay, so this is a simple report, and let's add one more here with the user. Okay. Okay, let's just save this and call it sales or sales report. And for now, I'm just going to publish this here just so we can follow up. Let's just make sure I go here. Okay. Awesome. So I'm the owner of this report, so I can see I'm logging in here, as you can see, as Marcelo Matos. So that's fine. Now we're going to implement the row level security, right? So before that, before I even do any, I will just show up how it's going to work, right? I'm going to share this report with Rose. So remember, this report does not have any row level security so far. So I'm just going to copy here. This is Rose is logging as Rose. So let me see. Okay. Yeah, oh, Rose is a manager. And at the same time, this is John. And John as well. Oh, yeah, I didn't share with John, so John cannot see this report. It's fine. Now let's go back to our Power BI, and we're going to implement the first one is the row level security for a static mode. How we implement it? You go to modeling, go manage rows, and here we're going to create basically 3 rows. One is the CEO row, one called East, and another one called West. So for the CEO, there's a row, but there is no filter that's going to be applied for it. The East, are going to say that the location, we know that, okay, East, the location ID is 1. So I'm going to see 1 here. I could use the name as well. I'm just going to use here the ID. So, and West ID, location ID equals 2. Okay. So now that's it. Sorry if I went too fast on this. Let me know. We can go back. But basically, that's the first step you do on Power BI Desktop. Then we go, let's now publish this. Again, this report. Got it. Okay. So as you can see, now rows, I'm logging as rows. remember, I already shared this report with roles before, but at that point, we didn't have any row level security implemented. Now that I implemented the row level security, I'm having, when rows tries to load it, getting this message saying that there's a row level security implemented. If she click on the details, she can see that, okay, Marcelo, that's I'm the owner of this. So one thing about row level security is once it is implemented, if a user is not set to any row, the user can't see anything on the report. So how now on Power BI service, right? We just we published the report here. How do we add the users to each row, right? We go to the semantic model. It's not on the report. You go to the semantic model, security, and then now we see the 3 rows that we created. So in the case for the CEO is rows. Yeah, I have to save. Let's say East. John is the manager, and West is Leah. That's it here. So as you can see, I just let Jack, who is our assistant manager, out of the roles, right? So here, let's go back to our report. And let's go and manage permissions. We already have rows. We're gonna add the same, we're gonna share this report with John, Leah, and Jack. So, okay, so now when you go back to this is rows view. Let's just refresh. Rose is the CEO, so she can see everything because that was what we defined. This one here is log as John. John is our East manager, right? So we're gonna copy here. So if everything looks okay, he can only see the East data. We're looking the same thing. Leah will log in using the same link. Only can see West. And oh, this is on my way. And Jack. This is Jack here. Jack can't see because we didn't added him to any one. Okay. So now we implemented the row level security on a static mode because what it means is as we saw, we didn't have to define it is what happens when you have the static mode is now we're going to see that the responsibility to update the views for each user when they change positions inside the company, it's still on us. So as a data analyst, BI developers, we will have to go back here and change. So as I mentioned during the presentation, what's going to happen is Rose is going to retire and we're going to have John as the CEO and Jack now as the East manager, right? So for this, using the static format, we need to receive information from our HR form, say, hey, we changed. So you will need to come manually here, come and say, okay, yeah, Rose is no more the CEO. Now John is the CEO. And here, John is no longer the East. Now Jack is the CEO, the East manager, right? So you have to come here. When you do that, so Jack, this is the vision for Jack. So Jack now is our East manager. Now Jack can see the data. At the same time, John will now be able to see both because he's the new CEO. And if we go back to Rose, and she tries to see, Rose is retired, she can't see. So so this is a 1.4 static. You will always need to keep updating this. There are many situations that you don't have to worry about it a lot. So it is more, let's put it this way, it don't change a lot. So it's okay to use static, totally okay. But you just have to remember that you are the one who will keep going back here and updating the dashboard. Okay.
Sorry, Marcelo. Somebody
Yeah.
was asking a question.
Okay.
The person
Please, yeah,
said,
please let me know because I'm not reading the.
yeah, no problem. Adiola Abiy said, if two managers are in the West, do you create the roles individually?
Okay. Yeah. Let's see one thing. Like, let's imagine that we have. Let's go back to here. I can have, for example, Rose is that is a user that we remove. Rose is also West, right? I can have here as many users we want. So now if you go back to Rose, Rose now is just a West manager. You can add in as many users you want here on this group. Is your decision. And also, this is not a good example, but let's imagine that we have that Rose. Imagine that we have 5 regions here, but Rose can see West and West. The same user can be in both groups, in more than one group as well. So once I added, now Rose is, it's West and East. If you go back to Rose, now she can see both because she belongs to both groups. So imagine that you have 5 regions and the person can see West and Central, for example, 2 other regions. You can add as much as you want. And as long as they will add, right? This. I don't know if I answered the question for who that was.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, before I move to, so I believe that's the only question. I will now move to a dynamic row level security. Any questions about the static? Okay. So let's.
Does anyone have any questions about the
Hi,
static
Marcelo.
RLS?
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, my name is Lucky. Thank you so much for how far you've gone. I'm only wondering how would you handle sensitivity level within a particular role? Now, this is what I mean. 2 managers can access a particular role, but within that role, you want to further restrict what they can see. Maybe you're particular about figure. You want a particular manager to say, but when a particular figure is above a threshold, you don't want maybe a lower manager to see that figure. Can that be done? Is there a way we can further create roles within a role? That's what I'm asking, if that makes sense.
You can. you yeah, would be better if you created just another role, like on the static mode. On the dynamic, you can have more flexibility to try to work this around. On the static, uh, you would need to create a bucket. For example, let's see if in this example I can see anything. Oh, let's see here. I want to create for I have the West, but then I have a supervisor for Manitoba, which is our province, right? So I want to give access just to a person to see Manitoba, right? Instead of seeing the entire West. On the static mode, what I would have to go is I will come here on the modeling, manager roles. I'm gonna create a new role called uh, Manitoba. And I would say, let's see if it's, I know it's not location, sorry. It's customer that have this information. I would say that, okay, province equals Manitoba. Okay, so now I'm gonna publish this again. Okay. Let's go back to our Power BI service, just refresh. Okay, so now we see we have our no Ravel Secure. I'll take rows out of the West. So, and I'll add rows to Manitoba. So now when we go back to rows here, I expect to only see, oh, did not work. Because it's a word. Let's go back here, the modeling. Let's see, modeling. Manitoba. Let's see. Because the model I have here, yeah, it's going back this one.
Marcelo, is it possible to have in that what's it called? In that region RLS, can we have two conditions inside one to say when the province is east and when the sorry, when the region is east and the province is Manitoba? Is that possible? Or we have to separate it?
Yes, yes, yes. I think
Okay.
that's gonna make more sense. See if this is. If it's to be. Yeah, it's still showing other. Oh. Oh, because Manitoba is not on East. Sorry. Tubbs is West.
Well, someone says maybe it's
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Rose can see west and east Rose, but Manitoba is west. So she
Yeah.
can see both east location and west and Manitoba in the west. I think that's why that is happening.
Yeah. I'm sorry here. Let's see. This. Okay, let's publish it again. Let's see. Make sure. Yeah, if it doesn't work, I will have to take a time to see the data. Yeah, no,
I think you
it's
can go ahead with other
fine.
things if it's not working.
Yeah. Okay, I will go back to this to see what I'm missing here on the but it's mainly will be because of the model, how the data is structured here. Probably I need to change some relationship, but that's why here. Um, okay, I will just go very quickly over the dynamic because we're running out of time, and I'll go back to this. Okay, so okay, so for the dynamic, the main difference is that we're gonna use one function, that built-in function that will be the user principal name. Let's do it. Just show how it looks here. And for that, let's add here. No, let me customer and then you measure call. So the user, when you look on the Power BI desktop, this is what we see. Is the domain and the username of the local you're having here. But when you publish this to Power BI service, on the in the report, what we see in Power BI service is actually the email of the user who is logging. So that's how we use the dynamic filter, the dynamic row level security to filter, to implement the row level security. We're going to validate this username principal. As you will see now, when I look the others here, like, see, this is John. Jack, and we should have, and we're gonna have rows. Okay. So first things first, let's go back to here. Go back to our semantic model. Security. Let's just remove everyone because we're gonna remove this row level security. We're not gonna use this. Okay. Let's go back to our Power BI desktop, modeling, manage rows. The difference now for this use case here that we're gonna see, I'm gonna keep like having our CEO, which will be a role that can see everything. And I'm gonna have another one called managers. Okay. And the managers, okay, but I will need to just save this. But before that, to be able to use, we're gonna need to have one user table. So the user table basically will have the name, the ID of the user, name, the job title, and an important thing, you're gonna have the email. And we have in this case, a location ID. It's most common where you have a group that you assign these users, but to not get it a lot of more complicated here, we're setting, okay, John is for location 1, Leah for location 2, and Rose can see everything. We're gonna be in a different group as a CEO as well. So I'm just gonna load here. Make sure let's connect. So we have a user next to location. Okay. So now go back to modeling, manage rows. For the managers, I'm going to user, new. It brings like already the email. The best way to do is you switch to DAX editor and you select like equals user principal name. So basically it will validate that the one who is the user email who is logging in is equals the email that you have on your dataset. So same thing. Let's now publish this back. Let's refresh. Okay, so what are you gonna do here for rows? For CEO, we still have a group called, which we're gonna add rows. This is a group for, usually have like a leadership group that which are all they can see everything. And then we have the managers that we have Jack. Oh no, not Jack. It's John. And we have Leah. Right, so let's add here. Save. So now when we go back here, so yes. So this is rows. Rose is our CEO. She can see everything. This one is John. John is our East manager. Leia is our West manager. Still can see. And Jack is our system manager. It can't see anything because it's not on any group, right? So now is how it becomes more interesting for the dynamic. When you have the changes on the organization, that's imagine that is a table, that this table is the HR which is responsible for this, is not you, right? And then we're gonna have the changes, right? What we're gonna have is the same thing. Rose is gonna retire. John will become the CEO, and then we're gonna add Jack here. So basically, I'm just gonna copy this here. This. So remember, so this is now was HR who did this, right? We can now come just save. I'll go back. Our Power BI is going to refresh. Then, so right away for Jack, who is our new East manager in the place of John. Oh, we need to, I forgot to, we need to add, sorry. We need to add, as a manager, we have to add Jack. So yeah, I should have done this before so you can see, but Jack wouldn't see anything before. But now Jack is our link again. So why is Jack not seeing? Jack is our East manager.
Hello, Marcelo.
Yeah.
This user table, is it connected to the location table?
Yes, it should be.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Yes, it is. It just make sure it is updated for sure. Yeah, Jack is location 1. It's our East. So here. And Jack is a manager. I'm not sure what it matters. You can see. So that's the life of our profession. And everything should work. Sometimes it does not work as expected. Security. Jack has access to row level security.
Oh, have you
It's
republished
probably some.
from desktop?
Pardon me?
I said, have you republished from desktop? Did you republish from desktop? Maybe that's why it's not showing.
I think I just did.
Yeah.
Let's try again. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you're right. So Jack,
Thank you,
now
Elvis.
Jack can see. So you can see Jack now. It's he's the his manager, and for John now I think it's John. So Rose is no longer the CEO, and John is the CEO in this situation. We say here, and we take out. I'm going to change here. So John now is belongs to another group, which is the CEO. Rose does not belong to any group anymore. And the thing is, now if by any chance HR decides to switch groups, right? So now Leah will be responsible for East. And then Jack is taking care of West now. So it's same thing. Once you set this on your dynamic, the email which is related to the location will do the work for you to go in there. You don't have to go back to here and switch between East and West. You just have the managers. So basically you come back, you refresh, you publish. So Jack, we change it to West. Yeah, so Jack now Tony Sim is our West, and Leah is our East. And yeah, so you can imagine that you work for a big corporation that people are changing roles all the time, moving. You're gonna create. This is a very simplistic way. Usually, it's more common. You create a group of users, and then you set permissions to that group of users, and then you keep adding users to that group, right? That's how usually you're gonna see in your corporations. I mean, but you add another level here of complexity. But usually in corporations, that's how you do. You create a group, a user group, that you give permissions to that user group, and you instead of directly to the users. Yeah, I think it's 5 minutes after. That's what I had to show. I hope you could follow up with this quick demo. It's a very introductory level for row-level security. In the future, if you are interested, we can try to make it more on like a real-world scenario with a lot of users, a lot of groups. We can create security groups in Azure as well, and work with the security groups that you create in Azure to grant access instead of granting access. And then you do row-level security by security groups that you create in Azure as well. So you can really go very on complex mode here if you want. And yeah.
Thank you very much, Marcelo. We appreciate your presence. Somebody asked a question. Say, can we implement RLS for both import and direct query models?
It will work on both, like direct query and import. You have one thing that you have to have in mind when using the combination of direct query with row-level security. There are some functions that do not work with this combination. For example, count rows. Count rows does not work. If you have a measure that uses count rows, and if you move from import mode to direct query with row-level security, it will break. There are average. I know for sure average X, count rows, but there are others. filter calculated table. I'm not sure. There's a list of functions that will not work. So it's something to have in mind if you want to use the combination of direct query with row level security, and you already have some reports that you created, and you're gonna change this, you need to be aware that probably you're gonna have to refactor some of those reports.
Okay, thank you. Anybody, any other question? Okay, it seems there are no questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying by. We have come to the end of today's section. Thank you so much, Marcelo, for your time and for your teachings. I know we had a great time, and we'll hope that we'll see you again when we'll call you another time. Let's end the section now. You can drop your questions in the chat section of the Teams, and anybody can answer you. Thank you, guys. See you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, boss.
Thank you.